I just wanted to give you an idea of what these compartments look like. So, never mind the mess up there, but as you can see, I've got the fuel tank area here, and then I have a left and right water tank. Each one's 9 gallons, and they're connected. The fill comes in. This is the fill right here from you know, over on the side of the boat. There's a water fill cap. It comes in here, and the tanks are actually interconnected at the bottom with a hose that connects each tank. So as this tank fills, it should fill this tank as well, and they should fill up evenly. This is for the vent on each tank, and those actually come up. Oh, you can see them coming up. Right there. And I'll run those to the side of the boat as well. So what I'm thinking about doing is just running some blue tape all on the edge, all on this angle. I'm thinking about just taking some thickened epoxy and pushing it down into the crack between the hatch cover and the deck, and between the 2 hatch covers, or the 3 hatch covers, because they all kind of meet up here. Pushing it down in there, letting it set, and then sanding it flat to the deck. And once it's sanded flat to the deck, run a saw along the edge, basically the depth of this angle here. So from top of deck down to the top of this angle, set the blade to that depth, and just run the saw along the kind of the middle of the crack that's filled in. Since I'll have the blue tape the full width of the angle, the epoxy's not going to bond to the angle, but the thickened epoxy, but it'll bond to the deck, and it'll bond to the cover that's sitting here. Run the saw blade in a straight line in between the two, and hopefully it gives me a clean edge and a nice narrow, call it 1/8 inch thick cut. And then my hope is I can lift the hatch cover back off, because the tape is sitting on the aluminum angle here, and be permanently affixed with screws once I get everything painted, and screwing down the hatch covers and caulking in the crack, and should keep it watertight, I hope. Hopefully you can see what I'm planning on doing. Hopefully it works. Should get that all protected within this next week here. Get the thickened epoxy in the crack, all the cracks here, and we'll see how it goes. So I mixed a bunch of thickened epoxy, and how I did that was I take the epoxy, the resin, I mix in some fumed silica until I get it to the thickness and the consistency that I want it at, and then I'll go ahead and mix in the hardener for the epoxy. And I do that because if I mix the hardener and the resin together first and then put the silica in, as you're working in the silica into the mix, it's setting. So I don't put the hardener in until I've got it to the consistency that I want. Now that all the thickened epoxy has cured, I'm going to go ahead and sand everything flush, sand all the seams flush to the deck. And to do that, just use a regular orbital sander and keep sanding. I got all kinds of tape under here. This floor is just kind of, you can see these corners are high. So I had to take it down the wood there. It's got 3 layers of glass on it. Yeah, it's got a C-deck on it, so you're not going to see the oven. And it's still protected. I'll coat that with epoxy, and then I'm going to put 1 coat of fairing compound on it. It'll be plenty protected. Today we're going to continue working on the deck here. The joints between the hatch covers, this is the gas tank hatch cover, these are two water tank hatch covers, filling in the joint with the thickened epoxy. The goal was to fill it in, sand it down, and fair the deck, and then come back and attempt to cut along each seam here and lift the cover back up off of the support brackets underneath. Got some aluminum brackets underneath, angle brackets, angles that support the hatch covers. So I put some tape under there, hoping that the epoxy doesn't bond and we can lift it up. We'll see. It's an experiment. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. I hope it does. Anyways, so let's get to work. We'll go ahead and clean up with acetone and start mixing the fairing compound and get to work. First we'll take these side panels off. Those panels will be screwed in and caulked around so that they'll be removable if I ever do need to get back into either area. All the cabling, electrical wiring, motor cabling, everything runs through this side, so I did want to make it accessible in the future, but at least I could unscrew it, cut the caulk, and pull the panel off if I need to access back there. Before it was just open, kind of ugly, and just wanted to neaten that up. So, all right, let's get cleaning. Showed this before, but to fair I use this Total Fair epoxy fairing compound. It's a 1-to-1 mix. You mix the yellow and the blue together, you get green. You know it's mixed well then. I've just had good luck with it. I'm an amateur and it's pretty easy for me to work with it. So start up here against this bulkhead here. areas I need to fill. I tried to fill as much as I could with thickened epoxy. Alright, so we got everything coated with one coat of fairing compound. Now it's time to sand. So get everything sanded smooth. Probably put one more coat where it's needed, and then we'll cut out the hatches after that. Alright, let's go. So I'll come back and sand the area where the gunnel meets the deck, and on both sides, and then you can see some areas here where I've marked it in black marker, and those are low areas that I'll need to address with additional fairing compound. So when I sand the that fillet between the gunnel and the deck, I'll go ahead and sand those down as well. If you could please help out the channel by liking and subscribing, we'll see you in the next video.